Welcome to the Rectifying Parsha podcast, where we delve into the Torah's timeless wisdom and uncover uplifting and empowering lessons tailored to the challenges of our generation.
Agodinav Shabbos Parshas Bo. Hope you are well. Hope you had a wonderful, successful week. In this week's Parsha, we have the last few Makkos, and Moshe and Aaron came to Parai, and they said, Ad Moshe me anta mi ponai. They were talking in the name of Hashem, and they were asking him, until when will you refuse to be humbled before me? Parai, the stubborn king that he was, just looking to kill and afflict, annihilate the Jews, as terrible and destructive as the plagues, as the Makkos were, he wasn't willing to budge. This midah called akshanas, stubbornness, not willing to bend, is a terrible midah, and not only does it have tremendous relevance to Parai, but in the hearts, in the nefesh and the neshama of each and every one of us as well, it plays a role. There's a famous story with a Jew who came from China, a businessman, and after he took care of business, he came to Europe to take care of a few different dealings, business deals he had, and afterwards he decided to utilize the opportunity and to go visit the Heilige Chafetz Chaim. And he came to the Chafetz Chaim, he sat down, and the Chafetz Chaim said, "No, how are the Yidden in China doing?" And he said, "They're doing pretty badly, they're just barely hanging in." And then the Chafetz Chaim asked the visitor a very surprising question. The Chafetz Chaim asked him, what's going on with the Goyim, the non-Jews, how are they doing, what are they up to? And completely caught off guard, the visitor didn't know what to say, didn't know where the question was coming from. Why would the Gadol Hadar, the Tzaddik Hadar, the Chafetz Chaim, why would he even bother asking such a question? What would he care to hear about non-Jews living in China? He didn't even know them. Realizing that the visitor was caught off guard, he wasn't sure what to answer, wasn't sure what the Chafetz Chaim was getting at. The Chafetz Chaim added, "What's the latest thing that you remember from current events? What are they saying in the newspapers?" Okay, so the visitor said, well, they actually built a whole city on dry land that was right next to the water, and there was a dam holding all the water down, and just a couple weeks ago, actually, there was a huge hurricane, and the entire dry land became flooded, and tens of thousands of Chinese people were killed. Out of nowhere, the Chafetz Chaim began to cry, bitter tears, and the visitor was completely baffled, confused, unsure what's going on. Why on earth is the Chafetz Chaim crying about the lives of Chinese strangers that he didn't even know? And the Chafetz Chaim told him, things that go on in the world, things that go on in the Bria, they don't just happen coincidentally. They happen because Hashem decided it should happen. And it could be even in a place as far flung as China. But as the Chafetz Chaim said, a flood is a speech in Shemayim language. It's a sprach in Shemayim. And therefore, although to the average guy, or even to the unthinking Jew, this just may seem like Mother Nature, the Chafetz Chaim said, no, this is not Mother Nature. This is a lesson. This is something that Hashem wants us to learn from. A flood in China, He wants us to become better, us to realize that Hashem is in pain, us to realize that Hashem is upset, and we have to take it as a simim and a shamayim to perfect ourselves, to do tshuva, to make Hashem happy, to bring nachas ruach. But definitely Hashem didn't just send it for naught. And as we said in this week's parsha, when Moshe and Aaron asked, Ad Moshe me anta mi ponai, how long are you going to be stubborn? How long are you going to turn a blind eye to the clear hand of God, to the clear divine presence, to Hashem's mighty gevura, His mighty hand? How long can you turn a blind eye? How long are you going to be so stubborn? Even when you see yourself, you're going to die very soon. Your people are suffering. Your land is falling apart. A land that was stricken, that was bombarded with Makkos one after the next, and we're already holding at number 8. And soon, Parah, of course, knew that his end was coming, and yet he still remained so stubborn, so obstinate and neglectful to the clear Yad Hashem. And the Svarim point out that this question, of course it was said originally to Parah, but it's a question that we must all ask ourselves. Not only in the tshuva season, Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, Aseret Tshuva, but perhaps every single day when we think about HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when we think about all the good, all the bracha, everything He gives to us, to our families, to us as a whole, to us as individuals. We're so fortunate that we're the Am HaNivchar, and when we have imperfections and shortcomings that are kfiyas toiv, the lack of hakaras toiv, to the gracious, kind acts that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is constantly bestowing upon us, we have to do what we can, always be cognizant and working to rectify those things. And therefore, we must ask ourselves as well, Ad Maseh Me'anta, how long are we going to be stubborn? And of course, we're always striving to become better, and we're always working. V'alachta b'derachav, we do tshuva, we do the right things. We're Rachmanim b'nei Rachmanim, we're Goyim lechasadim. There's so much good, there's so much depth, there's so much chesed, there's so much Torah, there's so much midas tovus, there's so much everything. We're exploding with good. But at the end of the day, there's of course always shortcomings and imperfections which stand in our way, and with stubbornness, whether it's subconscious or consciously, probably subconscious, we forget about them and they roll over year to year. They just show up again in our list of resolutions on how to become better. And our job is to be mechazik now, this week, now, today, this minute, in a moment of tshuva, and try to come up with a resolution, a clear path, how I'm going to become better. And when we see things that go on in the world, whether it's far away, whether it's close by, in our families, our friends, our kehillah, the shul, whatever it may be, but we can't turn a blind eye. We have to remember that Hashem is sending us lessons always, and that everything we do has such a hashpa, has such a effect on worlds that we don't even know about. And surely when Hashem does big things in current events, there's always so much going on. And we have to take those into account and realize that it's Hashem talking through His Bria, through His world. And with Hashem's help, when we're mechazik ourselves, when we learn from what's around us, minimizing our stubbornness and increasing our awareness, and Mitzvah Hashem, that should serve as a tremendous chus for all of us and for Hashem to continue bestowing on us bracha v'atzlacha in all of our ways for all of us for many happy, healthy years to come. Have a wonderful Shabbos. I thank each and every one of you for listening. I hope you enjoyed, and I wish you a wonderful Shabbos.